some people are just nervous about like what it's doing or what
Me
it's
too.
going to do.
Me too. I'm the most nervous, and I'm the one that is advocating the most to slow down progress.
Hmm.
But I'm not saying don't use it. If you don't use
Hmm.
it, you're gonna be left so far behind that
Hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be way more than not using a computer.
Welcome to Biz Help for You, the show that saves you the expensive learning curve by providing advice from industry experts in every facet of the entrepreneurial journey. Too many small businesses collapse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 20% fail within their first year, and less than 35% make it to their 10th anniversary. The goal of this podcast is to change that statistic. So if you're interested in learning more to be a successful entrepreneur, tune in today.
Let me tell you a little bit about my guest today. Stefan Fehr is an AI pioneer and founder of Modern IQs. He has developed intelligent applications, founded an AI app store, and designed large-scale websites. Stefan has been actively involved in the AI space since 2019, focusing on content creation, inbound marketing, entrepreneurship, public speaking, and blogging. Stefan's expertise extends to creating tools that assist startups, including a comprehensive directory addressing legal funding and operational challenges. This resource serves as a checklist to help startups navigate overlooked tasks and streamline their operations. You can learn how to leverage AI-powered tools to tackle common challenges in legal, funding, and operational areas while gaining insights on how to streamline your processes and accelerate business growth. So, Stefan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think I have to shorten my bio.
Oh, it's okay. It's good. It gives a little bit more information about yourself, of course. But
Mhm.
before we get into questions on the topic, I'd love just to ask, like, how did you even get involved in AI? What, brought your interest into that arena?
Mhm. So let me, before I start, the tool, so what we're talking about is especially good for small business owners, so stick around. Well, I started, it kind of started with my old website where the goal was, so that was an affiliate website. I was, promoting business software, and the more traffic I got, the more money I made. So that's really a get people to click business. And so I was creating blog articles about several business tools. Okay, and so there's this tool called Google Search Console, and when you have it installed connected to your website, you can see how much traffic you're getting from Google. And that was by the time I had around 70 articles, and that was 1,000 people that saw my website on Google per month, 1,000. And then there was the day where I was using AI to create a lot of text.
Mhm.
And so for every tool I had, I created around 3 pages of text, and I put them onto all of those sites, like those 70 sites, in one day, right? So I was creating 300 pages of text in that day, putting it onto my website, and then 2 weeks later, I can see the traffic from Google coming in, like a lot. And it kind of topped at 130,000. So that's a 130x increase.
Mhm.
And by the time I had around 4 hours to create a high quality blog article, and so I thought, wow, so 130,000 for 70 pages is not that bad, right? It's like, if you can find a way to create 10,000 blog articles next year, theoretically, that should be millions of monthly reach, right? So I was hooked. And then I was searching for a tool and there was none. So we created Modern IQs basically. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. And can you explain maybe how entrepreneurs can use these types of
Mm.
tools to, help their company even get exposure?
Yeah. So this is especially good for small business, like for local businesses, because So let's take it's really, I'm posting about this, by the way, as well. So if you go on social media, I'm posting tips. But what you can, let's take an example of a cocktail bar. Cocktail bars have, cocktails they sell, and then they have a website. But what they don't have is a blog article for each cocktail. So if somebody searches for Long Island iced tea Berlin, right? So there's all these cocktail bars, and they have websites, but there's one cocktail bar that has a blog articles for all their cocktails, and if they have like something like whatever best Long Island iced tea Berlin, they're the only ones that have content on what people are searching for. So you have to imagine it's like you have a supermarket without products. People can walk in, but there's nothing to buy there, right? And this is how Google feels as well. So it's like Google either sends people to the supermarket with the products, or, right? So it's like a no-brainer. As long as not everybody else has it, it's like a really like you kind of got to be early. I guess in a couple of years, websites will come with 1,000 articles, but for now, it's like the new thing, because AI. I mean, having 100. So, for example, if you would have, as a cocktail bar, if you want to have 100 high quality articles, that would have been, I don't know, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of you have to pay, and also like months and months and months of work. So yeah.
So obviously you talked like AI can be used for lots of different things, and you could also use it for helping create processes in your business too. So can you explain for the entrepreneur who's listening, especially again if someone's a startup and they're thinking, well, I need to even create processes, I don't even have them in place yet, how can they use AI powered tools to actually streamline their processes?
Well, so they shouldn't. It's really it's really the time of this is kind of over. So I guess what we are doing is we're creating one-click solutions. So let me give you the example of the blog article. So the reason why that used to be so expensive is because you would need to find a writer, you would need to find images, somebody who's writing the text, somebody who's putting everything together, and 100 different steps what you need to do, like headline structures. You got to have somebody that understands how an article what a high quality article is, that images need to have names for blind people and all this kind of stuff. And so if you think today, so I'm talking to marketing agencies, and they're like, yeah, we have a team for this. Oh, okay. So you have somebody that understands SEO, you have somebody who's writing, you have somebody who's taking pictures, there's somebody who's researching, and so on. And that's what they do all day, right? So if they take, let's say a ChatGPT, they are streamlining their process in a way that they don't write as much text anymore. But what a one-click AI tool is it's eliminating the process. There is no process afterwards. So what I recommend people to do is look for one-click solutions, so that your process is gone. That's what AI is supposed to be doing, right? It's helping us like eliminate work, not a very tiny part of the work. Yeah.
Well, I know some people are afraid of using AI because it may not be accurate, or it's not going to sound like their voice as well too. So like, what tips do you have to someone who's saying like, okay, well, I understand instead of me having to write everything myself, I can use a tool, but I want it to reflect who I am, and I also want to make sure that the information is accurate.
So let me address the information issue before. The accuracy, AI is getting better. And that the latest versions of OpenAI are improving by themselves, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But anyways, I am really recommending everybody is expert in their field, and check what the AI is doing. This part I would not automate, because it's like you can read a blog article in 2 minutes. So that's 20 hours of work reduced to 2 minutes. I have published a lot that I haven't checked, but it kind of depends on the topic, right? So, for example, if you like your nail studio or gym, your gym, you want to, post on fitness tips, or your cocktail, your restaurant, right? You wanna create blog articles for dishes, right? If you create a blog article for chicken teriyaki, there is nothing you need to check. I mean, this is very obvious. Like, what is the AI going to do wrong there? Don't put elephants inside. Anyways, so that's this point. But for the like, make it sound like you, I give you the example of the podcast host. Okay, after our recording, you have your transcript, right? So what you can do is take the transcript, put it into ChatGPT, and tell ChatGPT, please create some headlines for blog articles and take this transcript as background information. Okay. So then OpenAI gets you 10 headlines, and then you take the headline and put it into our system, copy paste. And then you take the transcript and put it into our system, copy paste. And then before the transcript, you tell the AI, this is a transcript of a podcast episode. Please, of podcast X with host Y and guest Z, right? Please mention the transcript multiple times in the article and make it sound like the podcast host. That's it. So it's kind of like, so for you, if you would want to use our tool, it would be like, you fill in your name once, you fill in the guest name, always, you have to do it every time new, obviously. And then the podcast name is always staying the same. And then all you have to do is like, get the headline pasted in, get the transcript pasted in. It's like a 20-second thing. And the system is uploading to your website. It's, if you want to, it's publishing. And so, it's like, it can do a lot. Yeah.
Right. So you're talking about then this one-click blog article generator, which, is great, especially if someone doesn't have time or they don't feel that they're comfortable writing, but how is that really helping build their brand then? Obviously, they're getting content out there, but, how is it building their brand presence? And, how do they make sure that they have an appropriate content strategy to use this effectively?
Well, so what we're doing is we are rebuilding Healthline, healthline.com quality articles. So Healthline is a website that gets 200 million monthly website visitors only by creating blog articles.
That's a lot.
Is that enough as an answer? No, yeah. So I didn't know. I was scrambling around with social media before I got into the blog article thing. And then I had this traffic coming in from Google, and I was like, whoa. And that's where we started, right? So and that's been the time where I saw the story around healthline.com as well, and it's like crazy. So I wouldn't. So if you talk about content strategy, I mean, you can depending on the business, you can do all this. But a small business owner, a restaurant owner, a cocktail bar owner, fit gym owner, whatever owner, right? I mean, creating articles for 100 cocktails is a 1 hour job, and then it's done. On the other hand side, you can try to find a good agency, right? And then pay a couple of 100,000. I don't know how much that costs, right? To get the same result, basically. Yeah.
Right. I mean, the whole thing about AI is really to help us be efficient in what we're doing, but still we want to be doing some of the things ourselves too, just to make sure it's really like us and our content, right? You don't want to just plug something in and just take it and just directly post it, right? So do you want to talk maybe about how someone can use the tool, it creates something, but maybe they need to finesse it a little bit?
Well, we are working on, so currently this is, so currently it's quite easy. So you have two fields that are important, and that's the headline field and the background information field. In the background information field, you can enter anything to, I would say, 10 pages of text, describing, your style and the way you want. So I'm always recommending if you want AI to sound like you kind of have to put a lot of text into AI and make it and tell it to analyze your writing style, your the way you talk and so on, and then tell it to create a very in-depth style description, right? So that is explaining this person is sounding like this, talking like, and so on. And then also what I'm always doing is like in the background information field, I'm explaining what I want the AI to write about. So for example, if I want to if I was a cocktail bar owner and I wanted to have people coming to my place, I would create recipes, because the first time they read the recipe, they are going to create it for themselves. The second time they're too lazy or they don't have the ingredients, and then they come into your bar. So and recipes are always good because they're coming back and it's like, what was this place where all the recipes? There. And then right. So the only thing you gotta do there is like best Long Island iced tea Berlin, right? Or you take a suburb. If you're a local business owner, that's a good tip. Take a suburb, like Upper East Side Manhattan. That's better, right? If it's a big city. And then you just say, please create a recipe for Long Island iced tea and make it sound funny or something like that, right? And if it's more. Yep. If you want more if you want to focus it more, you can always tell the AI, please write the article around this idea with context to that, right? Focus on this. So that's where it gets really accurate. Yeah.
Right. Well, I know in the bio we said that, you have worked kind of with like the legal side of things, you help teach operational side of things too, and especially, helping startups too. So like, what are some of the common like legal or operational tasks that startups overlook, and then like how can they avoid the pitfalls of overlooking those things?
So I haven't especially looked into the legal stuff. It's like we created those 460 articles around startup challenges and solutions with our tool, and I just briefly looked into all the things that, to be honest, I'm kind of, when I'm looking into it, I'm always seeing things I should do, and then I'm like, oh, so it's like that I was learning a lot about funding, and because our company is like burning extremely little money, and it's like it's actually quite interesting for investors. But I haven't focused on those. But the thing is, there's like 400 articles around any kind of challenges and solutions for startup owners, and just have a look through. There's so much things that you want to take care of. Yes. If you're ever bored. Yeah.
Right. So are you saying that your website then has like these articles to help the entrepreneur to get started? So this is like a resource for them?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's like a directory for startup challenges and solutions. And you go on moderniqs.com and it's saying blog on top. Yeah.
Okay. And is that really good for like people all over the world, or is it more like for certain things regionally? Because of course we've got different regulations and things depending on what country that we're in. So like, who is that ideal for?
So we created this this is general information, right? It's like a general overview. It's quite good for most startups, I guess. There will be things that you've already been taking care of, and there will be things that you haven't. But when you use our system and you don't enter a lot of detailed background information, then it creates content that is quite common, right? It's not very focused and narrow, so it's broader, right? And all these articles are for a broad audience. Yeah.
Okay, so it's more just like general tips, not necessarily like if you're in the United States, you need to know X, Y, Z.
No.
Right. Right. Okay. Perfect.
That's what you would do if you would enter in the background information field. You would be like, how is that please create me an article for, Texas, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right. So you also talked just a minute ago too that you're kind of involved with some of the funding strategies too. So like what are some of those innovative funding strategies that are highlighted then that these early stage businesses can use to help them, launch their businesses or finance their businesses?
I don't know. No, seriously, I was so sorry. I was just saying I was looking into all of this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess it's it's good to look over it and see like the main to-dos you gotta do. But on our side, I said we are attractive to investors, but I didn't really said that we want investors. Yeah.
So they don't necessarily have like on that directory like tips for that funding side because I thought when you were talking about funding that would be
There's a lot.
something.
Yeah. No, sure. There's a lot of tips there when it comes to funding. Yes, I was just looking over them and I thought, oh, I was just seeing like, oh, we check this, we check this, we check this, right? And it's like, oh, okay. If I ever have time, I'm gonna look into it. But it's kind of for us, it's not it's not worth the time, I guess. Yeah.
Right. Well, I know I've heard a lot of people are just like afraid to even start using AI. They're afraid that this might take away jobs, or, there's just different things that are out there. Like, what can you say to someone maybe to give them some peace of mind about using AI, or what should they put in there and what shouldn't they? Because there's also been talk like if you put in anything that might be like your own ideas of things that aren't even out on the market yet, right? That could potentially get stolen. So like where are the things that are like the safety guardrails where you should do this, you shouldn't do this, but it is a great tool that you can use?
Well, I guess if you put something in a computer, you always have to. I mean, we all know that everybody is reading what you putting into a computer. That's where I stand on this. So if you have a very smart idea, my top tier ideas are never written into a computer. I wrote them on a piece of paper. But when I want to leverage my business, I mean, well, just think about what kind of information. Obviously, OpenAI and the others are learning from what you're entering there, because I mean the quality of information you enter into those systems is way higher than Google, so they learn a lot. If you don't, this technology will impact the world at least 1,000 times more than everything we've did before, and faster as well. So once you understand what's the difference between how we built machines in the past and software, and how we're building software now, and machines like hardware will follow quite soon, I believe. I mean, in the past you build a house with everything you need to do to build a house, and in the future you're just gonna prompt it, build me a house that looks like this, and then robots will start working on it. I mean, if you miss that trend, good luck. Sorry, but I don't know.
Well, and I think that's where some people are just a little nervous too about like what is really going to be done by computers and AI and all of these things, and what's going to still be, for us to be able to do, and can we trust, the information? There's just a lot. And of course, this is still somewhat early. I mean, yes, we've had it around for a few years, but it's still somewhat early in the whole, startup of this in the long term, what's going to happen. But I do know that I have heard, some people are just nervous about like what it's doing or what it's going to do.
Me too. I'm the most nervous, and I'm the one that is advocating the most to slow down progress. But I'm not saying don't use it. If you don't use it, you're going to be left so far behind that I don't know. It's going to be way more than not using a computer. So yeah, not using a smartphone.
Right.
This kind of thing.
Right. There's always an adoption phase, right? There's early adopters, and then there's some people that just wait for a while until they, come in and start getting used to it. And I think part of it is also, like you said, just depending on your age, if you're already not used to technology as it is and you struggle a little bit with using apps or, using the computer, you're obviously not going to be one of those early adopters, where someone who's grown up with, all this technology, it's just one more thing, right?
Just on that point quickly. So I was having my parents for a visit recently, and we've been wanting to visit Rotterdam, and I thought, let's go on a boat tour and look at the harbor in Rotterdam, which is huge, right? And I could have gone on my computer, open Google, search for something, and so on. But instead, today you can unlock your smartphone and ask ChatGPT. You don't even need to write it, right? You only need to press one button and say, "Hey, my parents are going to come to the Netherlands soon for a visit. What can I do?" And then it's coming up with interesting ideas, and you can you can talk to it. So it is actually already very more convenient than normal software is. And I mean, our one-click solutions is just an example, right? It's like, yeah, way better. Yeah.
So it's just getting used to it and becoming comfortable with how to use it. Yeah.
And you just don't know what to use it for before you use it. But once you use it, you come up with 1,000 things. Yeah.
Right. Well, this has been interesting. I'm glad that we had the chance to have this conversation, but I know we are coming close, to the end of the time that we have together. So I wanted to ask if you have an offer that you would like to extend to our listeners, and also if they want more information, how can they contact you?
So my name is Stefan Fehr, right? I'm on everywhere on social. I automated everything. And the website is called moderniqs.com. And really, for everybody who's having a small business, if you have a website and you create a blog article once a month, Google is recognizing you more than if you don't. And one blog article per month is free. So the thing really is, it doesn't take time and it doesn't take money. And it takes like maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds or something. So you should really do that. And get those people that get those empty restaurant chairs filled. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything besides the website that you want to share, or is that the main point of contact?
That's I'm on LinkedIn and on Facebook and everywhere. Yeah, but the website is like, you can create an account and just start. Like it's gonna taking you 1 minute to start. So yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Stefan, for being a guest on my show. I really appreciate it, and I enjoyed the discussion that we had today.
Thanks for having me.
And to the listener, if you enjoyed today's topic and you want to hear additional information, you can find access to exclusive content in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in today. Would you please share this episode with those you know and leave a review on your favorite platform? And if you find our show informative, would you consider being a financial sponsor to help me continue my mission to educate business owners? A link is located in the episode description, and no amount is too small. I'd really appreciate your support. If you are interested in connecting with our guests and receiving the offer they had to share, a link to our resource page is in the show notes. Finally, if you have any bookkeeping or payroll needs, reach out to us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. My team and I are eager to assist you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Biz Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next time. Have a terrific